Etsy versus Shopify versus TikTok Shop. Which one should you choose? Hello, my name is Teresa and I am the owner of a small business called Seasons Best by Risa, and today I actually want to talk to you guys about 3 of the most popular e-commerce platforms. Okay, besties, so I do want to start off by preferencing that these are my own opinions of these platforms. I'm not like a e-commerce platform professional. These are just things that I have found or figured out while using these platforms. I use all 3 of these platforms. I have an Etsy shop, I have a TikTok shop, and I have a Shopify. So these are just going to be my opinions based on what I've experienced over the past almost year, I guess. So take that with a grain of salt. You know, these are just my opinions again, and just the pros and cons that I feel, and yeah. Hey guys, so starting off strong, we're gonna start off with Shopify, and the biggest pro for me with Shopify is that you own that website. So when you use Shopify, you use it to create your own website online where your customers can shop, and the biggest pro is that you own it. Like, you make the policies, like you are in control of your site. You can make whatever changes you want to make, whatever policies that you want to make. You are completely in control of that. So with Etsy and TikTok Shop, you do not own that platform. You have to abide by their policies and their rules, and you really don't have any say in any of those two. That's what I found is really like their way or the highway. So with Shopify, the biggest pro for me is the fact that you can actually say that you are in control, because you are, you know, you can make whatever changes you want to make to your site. It's completely yours. Whatever rules you want to make in regards to shipping, returns, exchanges, that is on you. So other sites like TikTok Shop, you know, they give you like 2 days to ship. For example, with TikTok Shop on Shopify, you said that if you want to ship your products in 7 days, 14 days, however long it takes you to ship it, you can set that. And I really like that about Shopify. I like that flexibility. I like the fact that I own my website, I am in control, and I don't really have to ask anyone for permission to do anything, or I don't really have to follow anyone else's strict rules. So that's like the biggest pro for me with Shopify. Another pro for me with Shopify, I don't know if you guys been hearing, but on other platforms like TikTok Shop or Etsy, you know, at any moment you are liable to lose your shop for whatever reason. It could be a policy that you violated, you know, without you knowing, or it could be a policy that you violated while knowing. But the point is that, you know, they could just take your shop away from you. You could have spent like years building something up, and just like that, they take it away from you. And I really didn't like that about those platforms. And a lot of them, they don't have like a really good like appeal system. I mean, they say you can appeal, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it's not like a really good appeal system where it's for the seller. And I do know that a lot of times when people you get your shop taken away from you, it's because you violated some rule or some policy. But I definitely feel like there should be some kind of like, I don't know, like point system, like first strike, second strike, third strike. And I hear that Etsy does that sometimes, but I know like TikTok Shop doesn't do that at all from my experience. So that's one of another pro for me when it comes to Shopify. The fact that I am secure that I will not be losing my shop, especially if it's a shop that I've built up, spent years on building, and I have like repeat customers. You know, it can definitely be disheartening to have all of that and then have it taken away from you just like that. Now, for me, there's 2 really big cons when it comes to Shopify. So the first con for me is the fee. I believe the cheapest plan is like a $40 monthly fee. And that $40 monthly fee is fine. It's not the fee that I have an issue with. It's the fact that, you know, whether or not you make a sale on your website, you still have to pay that fee monthly. So if you're a small business and you're just starting off, you're not gonna, like, $40 a month on top of everything else that you have to have, like all the other subscriptions that you have to have for your business. It can add up, and it can add up really fast, especially if, you know, you're not making any sales, you're not making any money. And the whole point of you starting a small business, at least for a lot of people, is to make more money, you know, gain more passive income. So I don't like the fact that you could potentially be like bleeding money if you're using Shopify, because whether or not you make a sale, you still have to pay them their fee. So that's really what I don't like. I feel like they should at least take the fees out of like your sales. I feel like that's like a better model, because a lot of people that use Shopify, they're just starting off. You're small businesses, and to have like Shopify up for like 3 months and not make any sales, that's $120. Like, so that's like the biggest thing for me when it comes to Shopify, that monthly fee that you still have to pay whether or not you make any sales at all. And another con for me when it comes to Shopify is the fact that you really do have to like push your own traffic to your website. Like, it is so hard for someone to just randomly like stumble upon your website if you just put it up there. Like, if you just put your Shopify website up like on the internet, it's so hard for someone to just stumble upon it, and that's what I really don't like. I feel like if they could come up with a way to help like to push the website to more people, I don't know how they would do that, but that's definitely like a big con for me. If you're just starting off and you don't have like a lot of followers, like I don't have a lot of followers, and when I just started, like even worse, I didn't have like a lot of followers, it's gonna be so hard to get traffic to your website. Now, for Shopify, if you do already have like a huge following, if you have like a huge social media following, it's gonna be great, because all you have to do is send your following to Shopify. But if you don't, then that's like a con for me, because it's gonna be really hard for you to not only like gain that audience or build up that customer base, but to then send them over to your website. Because y'all, let's be for real, it's 2024, and most people, they don't like clicking links out of like social media apps to go somewhere else. So if you are able to get your customers to go to your Shopify website, like that would be amazing. But a lot of people, they don't like doing that. And the thing with Shopify is you have to get them to do that. You have to get them to leave that social media platform or wherever you're marketing on and go to that site, because they don't have any traffic. You have to bring your own traffic. And for me, like that's like one of the cons for me with using Shopify. Okay, besties, next on the list is TikTok Shop. Yes, you guys, the infamous TikTok Shop. Y'all, I don't know when TikTok Shop came about, but has it been a year? Maybe it's been 2 years, two and a half years. I don't know, but I feel like it just like came out of nowhere and it literally just blew up. So yeah, let's talk about it. One of the biggest pros for me for TikTok Shop is the fact that it is TikTok Shop. No, you guys, I'm kidding, but TikTok Shop is on the TikTok platform, and one of the biggest pros is that you basically have the customer base of TikTokers, I guess, if that's how you want to put it. So almost everybody that is on TikTok knows about TikTok Shop. I don't see how, you know, someone could not know about it, but let's just say about 1 to 2% of TikTokers don't know about TikTok Shop. So that's about 98 to 99% of TikTokers know about TikTok Shop, have seen someone with a video with a little orange, you know, click here to purchase little icon on the screen. So that's like one of the biggest pros. Like, so many people know about TikTok Shop. It has such a huge audience, and it's so easy for you to, you know, post a video and put like a link to your products and have it reach hundreds or thousands of people. So that's like one of the biggest pros for me, because you guys might not know, but it might look, okay, so if you post a video and it only gets like 300 views, y'all, that is 300 people that have seen your products. It might not seem like a lot. It might not be like 10,000 views, but you have to look at it. 300 people have seen your product, and 300 people have the opportunity to just click a link and something pops up and they could purchase. So I really like that. I really like how accessible it is, especially on an app like TikTok, where there's so many people on that app on a daily basis. I really like the potential that you have to reach new people and new audience, especially when you're just starting off and you don't have that audience for yourself. Another pro that I love about TikTok Shop is the fees. Now, I don't love paying fees, but I love how they do the fees. Like, fees are only paid after you make a sale, and I love that. You know, for the longest, I think over the summertime, so I started off my TikTok Shop with sweaters and those blew up. But over spring, summer, sweaters kind of died out and I was not making any sales at all, and it was fine. I didn't have to worry about closing my TikTok Shop because they were not charging me anything to have my TikTok Shop. I wasn't making any sales, so they weren't charging me any fees, and I absolutely love that business model, or whatever you want to call that. I love that. When I started making more sales on TikTok Shop, they would take the fees out of each purchase, and I love that because I'm not having to come out of my pocket for, you know, months on months on months with no sales. So that's definitely another pro for me. And the third pro for me when it comes to TikTok Shop are the TikTok sponsored coupons, discounts, free shipping, all of that good stuff. I love that TikTok does that. For me, it has definitely brought me like a lot of sales, and you know, it's brought like a lot of new customers to my shop. These are usually coupons that TikTok Shop funds out of their pocket, not you don't fund it. So I do like that. So it's done in like campaigns where you sign up for their campaigns, and they'll do like TikTok, like free shipping funded by TikTok when you sign up for that campaign. So the campaign could be like for 2 weeks, and if you sign up for it, your products are gonna be pushed during that 2 weeks, and you'll have that free shipping. And y'all know how customers love free shipping or love discounts. So I really like that. I think like TikTok Shop is really onto something when it comes with that. I don't know that any other e-commerce platform is doing that. I may be wrong, but I really like that. That's a huge pro, and for me that has brought me like a lot of sales in the past. So that's definitely a huge pro for me when I'm thinking about TikTok Shop. Okay guys, so I know I just kind of raved about TikTok Shop, and y'all will probably think that I love TikTok Shop so much, but the list of cons is so much longer than the list of pros for me when it comes to TikTok Shop. So the first con is it is very hard to get accepted onto TikTok Shop. I don't know why. I've heard like a lot of people say like, you know, TikTok Shop has denied them for some reason. So when I signed up for TikTok Shop, I actually signed up for it before I even had a small business. I signed up for it because I wanted to like get items to review, you know. And at that time, I think that was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, somewhere around there. It was really easy for people to sign up for TikTok Shop. I don't know why. But as of recent, I've heard that it's become really hard for you to get accepted into TikTok Shop. So if you're trying to use that platform to sell on and you can't even get accepted to use the platform, that's definitely a huge con, because you're not going to be able to use it, you know. Another con that I have is, in my opinion, TikTok is very strict. You know, they have a lot of strict policies, and yeah, being strict is a part of it, but not only do they have a lot of strict policies, they change their policies like endlessly. Like the amount of messages that I have to clear up from TikTok Shop about a policy change here, policy change here, like I think it's almost like every other day. They change their policies all the time, and I get it. You know, they're new, they're just starting off, and you know, there's a lot of things that they probably didn't know, or a lot of policies that they didn't have in place in the beginning. But for a small business owner, you have to keep up with these policies, because again, TikTok Shop is one of those e-commerce platforms that you have no control over, right? So if you're not following their platform, their policies, they could easily like kick you off their platform. So if I'm a small business owner and you guys are changing a policy almost every other day, it's going to be very hard for me to keep up with those policies and make sure that I'm in compliance, and then it's going to put me at a risk of losing my shop. So yeah, TikTok Shop, it's like very policy strict, and it's always ever changing, and it's very hard to keep up with. And the thing is, if they decide to change the policy today, you have no say, no control over it at all. So another con that I have found with TikTok Shop is their platform is not the most user-friendly. Now, not everybody is tech savvy. Y'all, I am a website developer, so I use software all day, every day. And for me, their platform is definitely not user-friendly. Like, looking at it from someone who isn't tech savvy, it could definitely be daunting and like really hard to get into and to understand where you need to go to do what you need to do on their platform. It's a little bit, in my opinion, outdated. Maybe that's what it is for me, but it's outdated and it's not the easiest platform to maneuver. So if you're just starting off, or if you're not, you know, tech savvy, you know, starting a business in its own is super hard. So having to start a business and then deal with like outdated, like not user friendly, I don't know, platforms, it's gonna be like, that's just adding like another layer of stress to, you know, an already stressful situation of starting a business. So for me, in my opinion, that's a con. I feel like they can make the software, the platform, a little bit more user friendly so that it's easier for, you know, their sellers. Now, you guys, I run ads. I run ads on Etsy, and I know we're talking about TikTok Shop, But the point I want to make is I run ads on Etsy, and a lot of times I think about maybe running some TikTok shop ads, but y'all, those TikTok shop ads are very expensive. Over on Etsy, I could do like $1 a day, not with TikTok shop. Not only are their ads very expensive, but you have to use Apple Pay, I believe. And if y'all know anything about Apple Pay, y'all know that you have to pay such a large fee when using Apple Pay. I think it's 30%. Is it 30%? Something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but their ads are already expensive. And then on top of that, you have to pay that 30% Apple fee. It is just, it's not very how do you say, it's not very cost effective for a new small business starting off. If you want to run ads for your business, yes, I'm happy that they allow you to run ads, but I feel like it can be a lot cheaper. They don't have to make it as expensive as they have. And the last con that I have, and it's not really, you know, a con, but it's definitely something, it's kind of a micro con, I guess. You do still have to put in a good amount of effort into driving traffic to your shop, your TikTok shop. And the reason I say it's not really a con is because you're gonna have to do that on every platform. Like, really, you're really gonna have to do it on Shopify. You're gonna have to do that on TikTok shop, and you're gonna have to do that on Etsy. You're not gonna have to do it as much on TikTok shop on Etsy, but like you have on Shopify, but you're still gonna have to push customers to your TikTok shop. So whether that is through videos, you know how they have the TikTok shop videos where you click here to click the orange button, whether it's through that or it's through lives, you're going to have to push customers, you know, to TikTok shop. I kind of wish like TikTok shop would push your items more, and they do, but I feel like they could push it a lot more. But I do want to say a lot of people don't utilize a lot of the resources, like the marketing campaigns that they offer, like the TikTok shop sponsored coupons and discounts that they offered. And a lot of the shops that TikTok shop does push are the ones that do utilize those resources. So I don't know, that's why I said it's like a microcon, because you do have to put in the work. You still have to bring customers to your shop. Yes, you can get a couple sales, you know, if you just put your items up on TikTok shop, but you will see like the most results when you're advertising and when you're putting in a lot more effort. Okay guys, so now the third and final e-commerce platform that I want to talk to you guys about is Etsy. Now we're gonna jump right into it for the pros for Etsy. The pro for Etsy has been around for a while, you guys. I don't know how long Etsy's been around, but it's been around for a while because I've known about Etsy for a long time. I've shopped on Etsy for a long time before I even thought about selling on Etsy. So Etsy has been around, it's established, and because of that, it has its own customer base that's very loyal to Etsy, and they trust Etsy. They trust that they can go on that app or on that platform and they'll be able to find the things that they need, and they'll be able to find unique items from small businesses. So Etsy already is coming in strong because Etsy is established, it is already known, it has a strong customer base. So you're coming in with like a huge variety of potential customers that you could bring to your shop. So that's definitely the #1 pro for me when it comes to Etsy. Another pro for me when it comes to Etsy is Etsy's user interface is very friendly. Like the software, the platform, whatever you want to say, is very user friendly. It's very easy for you to go in there and learn how to use it. For me, it's a lot easier to use than TikTok shop. If you're just starting off, I don't think like, you know, you need to be extremely tech savvy to use Etsy, and I love that. I love how their interface looks. Super easy to use, super easy to follow. And you know, if you're just starting off as a small business owner, that's what you need. You need a super easy platform that you're going to be able to just go in, add your product listings, add your description, you know, set up your shipping settings, and not have to worry about, I can't figure this out, I can't find what I need. I really like that about Etsy. Super easy to use and super user friendly. Another pro for me when it comes to Etsy, y'all, I've been talking about this whole video. The fees. I absolutely love the fact that the fees on Etsy, just like TikTok shop, are paid after you make a sale. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that when you do put like a product up for the first time, I think you have to pay a 20-cent fee, I believe, and I think it's good for 4 or 6 months. I don't remember, but it's good for a while and then it expires and you have to pay that fee again, 20 cents. But you guys, 20 cents that is, like, for me, in my opinion, for me, 20 cents per listing for like 4 to 6 months is perfectly fine with me. And you know, a lot of people, when you start off with your small business, you don't have like that many items that you're listing. A lot of people may only start off with 1 item or 5 or 10. So 20 cents, like, it's completely okay in my opinion. So again, going back to the fees, whenever you make a sale, that's when Etsy will take the fee out of that sale. So I do love that business model. Again, I don't like having to pay like a huge chunk every month, especially if I'm not making any sales. Now, piggybacking off of the topic of fees, I believe, was it a year ago? Recently, we're gonna go recently, Etsy raised their fees a little bit. And one of the reasons why they raised their fees, and one of the reasons why I'm not like trying to tussle with Etsy, is because I believe they came in with a program called Seller Protection Program. I believe that's what it's called. I have used this program a few times and I absolutely love it. So it not only protects the seller, but it also protects like the buyer on Etsy. So in my personal experience, I can only talk about like my experience, but I sell stickers in my shop a lot. And a lot of the feedback that I get from customers is that, hey, my item says it was delivered and it's not here. You know, and as a small business owner, you want to believe your customers, you know, but you also know that a lot of people are not trustworthy, and a lot of people will get an item and say that it wasn't delivered. So I like the fact that Etsy came out with their, you know, seller protection program. So when I've used it in the past, you know, of course you apologize to your customer, but you also let them know that, hey, there's a program that Etsy offers to protect you and to protect yourself as well. And if you just open up a case like Etsy, as long as the item says that it was delivered, if you say that, you know, if the customer says that they didn't get it, and you open up a case with Etsy, they will fully refund that customer 100% at no cost to you, because you already paid like that cost up front in the fees. So they kind of include it in the fees. I know like a lot of people complain that, you know, Etsy is super expensive with the amount of fees that they take, but the amount of messages that I've gotten about a package that says it's been delivered, that, you know, they say that they didn't receive, that I would have had to come out of pocket and either, you know, reship or refund. I do like that the seller protection program, it takes care of that. And it takes that, like, I don't have to worry about that. It's not directly like coming from me. Yes, you do pay a fee, but you really don't see it, you know, when Etsy is refunding it to the customer. So I really like that. That's like the biggest pro for me with Etsy. I absolutely love that. I feel like Etsy is definitely more like on the, you know, protecting the customer side. However, I do think that they put a lot of effort into also protecting the seller as well, a lot more than, you know, the other 2 platforms that I've mentioned before. It definitely puts a lot of effort into trying to protect the sellers as much as they can. And last but not least, the last pro that I have for Etsy is the fact that you could run such cheap ads. Y'all, their ads are so cheap. When I started off on Etsy, I was not getting any sales for the longest, and I just decided I was gonna do $1 a day. $1 a day ads, you guys, $1 a day. And I think I let that run for like a month, and then it slowly started picking up. I started to see more, you know, customers coming to my store, visiting my store. I started to get more clicks, and I then moved up to like $2 a day, and I think now I'm at like $2.60 a day, because that's what Etsy recommends for my store. But I just love how affordable the ads are on Etsy. It's very, very affordable. And the thing is, if you run the ad for a month, which you don't have to, you could run $1 ad a day, but running that ad for a month like actually gives like Etsy the chance to get you out there to more customers, so that your shop is being seen. It increases the visibility of your shop, let's put it that way. So you can do like a 1-day ad, but doing it for at least 30 days will increase your shop's visibility. And I do like that. I like that, hey, if I want to cancel my $1 a day after 2 days, I can do it. Or if I want to cancel my $1 a day after 30 days, I could do it. I really, really, really love Etsy ads, and it has worked for me. I've seen like my shop's visibility like skyrocket. Like, I've gone onto like Etsy myself as like a customer and searched up my shop, and well, not searched up my shop, like I've searched up the items that I sell in my shop. Like I've searched up like faith-based stickers or Christian-based stickers, and my shop pops up. It pops up, it pops up, it pops up. So I'm loving that. I love that about Etsy. That is definitely one of the biggest pros for me. Okay, y'all, let's get into the cons, because yes, there are definitely cons when it comes to Etsy. So again, Etsy is a platform that you do not own. You have no rights, no say-so over Etsy at all. Like, it's their way or the highway. But, you know, that's what it is with most of these e-commerce platforms. Is definitely, you know, something that you have to always have in the back of your head. Hey, my shop could be here today and tomorrow it could not be here. But again, that is definitely one of my cons. I don't like the fact that we don't have any say-so at all on Etsy, considering that it's the sellers that make Etsy, you know. But I do think that they are a lot more seller friendly than a lot of the other e-commerce platforms that are out there. For me, another con is the fact that when it comes to Etsy, you guys, and I kind of touched on it a little bit when I talked about ads, but it does take a while for your shop's visibility to increase. It takes a while, and it takes like a lot of knowledge about SEO and the right words to use so that customers can actually find your shop and find your items. It's definitely a learning curve, learning Etsy's SEO. And even if you do ads, you guys, like I said earlier, even if you do ads, you're not gonna be on like page 1 in 1 day, in 1 week, in 2 weeks, in a month. It could take 2 months, it could take 3 months. And even if you do ads and your SEO is not up there, you might not hit the first page. You know, I'm just being honest. So that's definitely, yes, Etsy does bring a large customer base with them, but it's very, very hard to get seen. And that's kind of moving into my third point. It's very hard to get seen because of the amount of sellers that's on Etsy. It's so competitive. There's so many sellers on Etsy. You could think of an idea of something that you want to sell, and I promise you, it's most likely somebody else on Etsy is selling that item. What I found when it comes to Etsy, you definitely have to find a way to stand out. I know, like, being a part of trends is cool, and you know, that's what you want. You want to follow the trend, but you also want to follow the trend and stand out, because if everybody is doing that trend, how are you going to stand out? How's that customer going to say, okay, I don't want to purchase from her, him, or her. I want to purchase from you. You know, you have to stand out. And that's like another thing when it comes to Etsy is competition. Always trying to be, you know, better than the next seller or get your items, you know, seen. It's crazy for me. I feel like Etsy's like the Olympics, you know, you gotta fight to the top. But again, I feel like that's the same for every other e-commerce platform as well. You definitely have to find a way to stand out. It's 2024. Like I said, almost anything that you could think of to sell, somebody has already thought of it, almost, you know? So you definitely got to find a way to stand out. But I do know that Etsy is very competitive. And I do want to say one of the reasons why I had like, you know, good success with TikTok Shop is because, you know, when I was starting off with TikTok Shop, it was not as popular. So it was easier to get like more sales and more customers to your shop on TikTok Shop versus with Etsy. It's so popular. So many sellers are on their platform. It's very hard for a customer to see you. And even if they do see you, what's going to make them want to purchase from you and not the next person? So out of the 3 e-commerce platforms that I've just talked about, I've seen the most success with, I want to say, Etsy and TikTok Shop by far. However, if I had to choose between the two, for me personally and my needs, and yeah, for me, the winner would be Etsy. I would give up TikTok Shop and Shopify in a heartbeat if I had to choose, you know, out of the 3. And I would choose Etsy. Now, again, you guys, going back to the disclaimer that I said in the beginning of the video, these are just my opinion. This is what I've experienced. So take that with a grain of salt, but you can also take that knowledge and make an informed decision on which platform will be better for you or for your business, Or you could do like me and just have all three. Just have all three. But I do want to say, you guys, I do want to put out there that even though I do have Shopify, you cannot shop on my Shopify website because I was not getting a lot of sales on my Shopify. I'm mainly focused on Etsy and TikTok shop, but I still have my website up because, you know, visibility. I want my website on the internet. You know, the longer it's on the internet, you know, the more likely that, you know, someone could find you. And I have like a lot of Pinterest products linked there. So I do have it up, and I think Etsy has like a plan where you could just have your website up, but customers won't be able to check out, and I think it's like $9 a month. And I know you guys might be wondering, well, why would I need that? I don't push like customers from my social media to my website because they can't purchase. I push them to my Etsy shop where they can make a purchase. But again, I like having my website on the internet. You know, I like building like that footprint that, you know, it's been on there for like what, it's almost a year now. So I like building that footprint so that when I do activate it back, it kind of like is already out there. Visibility has been building over time. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just what I'm thinking. But I do want to let you guys know that they do offer that $9 a month. If you did not want to completely close down your Shopify site because of the $40 a month, you can do that. Your website will still be up, but nobody will be able to purchase. Okay, besties, so that is the end of the video. Do me a huge favor. If you used any of these three platforms, comment down below some of your pros and cons. Let me know your experiences. Let me know what you think, and let me know which one of these platforms is your favorite. But all right, besties, y'all know the drill. Y'all know the drill. Please give this video a huge thumbs up. Please do not forget to comment something nice down below. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.